Tonight's episode of the Sunday Night Talk is here. Wow. What a week in the NFL. Me and Omar tackle everything. We talk big picture. We talk the Sunday night game, most watchable game of the week, least watchable game of the week, not to mention a new game that I throw at Omar. Very difficult. And of course, we do the awards, followed by the Monday Night Questions. Hey, before we get to the episode, if you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel already, please do so. It helps the channel. We need growth. Every subscriber counts. So give it a click. If you listen to the shows, if you like them, show us some love. Give it a click. It helps the channel. Not to mention, if you want to see me doing live stand-up comedy, you have two opportunities coming up very soon. I will be at the Hollywood Improv Saturday, November 19th. And I will be at the Hollywood Improv again, Monday, the 21st. 2 shows in a row there. A lot of fun. I haven't performed there in a while, so you definitely want to be there. Not to mention, other great comics are on the lineup as well. It's an iconic club. If you've never been, I encourage you to go. Let me know you're going, too. I look forward to it. On to today's show and a little announcement as well. We've got a new series dropping on the network going up Monday night. The show is ready for you. I think you're going to enjoy it as well. So be on the lookout for that. But it is Sunday night, and that means the Sunday Night Talk. My very own Las Vegas Raiders. Well, we had a funeral for them today, as you will see with me on the screen. So my condolences to my own team. Nonetheless, it's Sunday night. It's time for the talk. Here we go. All right, it is Sunday. It is the Sunday Night Talk. Omar Carmona joins me. We are 2 minutes, 25 seconds left in the Sunday night game. LA Chargers, San Francisco 49ers. It is 16-19. Your team is kicking the ball away right now, Omar. How do you feel?
I'm not feeling great. I've always been a big fan of Herbert. He can definitely get some big yardage plays. Not feeling great right now.
Yeah, from time to time we do this, and I don't ever think it's a good idea. Like, especially if one of our teams is playing, because we get all stressed out, and then we somehow try and have a conversation while we do this. But let's do it again. This was your idea, so we're doing this upon your request.
I wanted to do it because I thought by now we'd be celebrating a larger margin. I thought that San Francisco was going to have a big second half and pull away, come from behind, and then pull away. I wasn't anticipating this.
Yeah, well, let's properly start the show. Sunday night, it was an action-packed Sunday, nonstop thrills, chills, and spills Sunday night or Sunday all day.
A lot of storylines today. A lot of storylines.
We had big wins. We had a head-to-head matchup for the ages. You're wearing a Patrick McEnroe headband. I went to a Raiders funeral today. So I think ultimately a fun Sunday, even though I got destroyed, but I think I'm willing to move on because last week I gave up on the Raiders. And then, of course, because you can't let it die, you have to send me video of Derek Carr crying in a press conference. Why are you doing that to me?
I know. How did you feel about that?
Here's my gut reaction is, how could it be a man with so much heart has been so let down by an organization? Derek Carr, I am not going to sit here and say he's a Hall of Famer, he's an All-Pro, he's a Super Bowl winning, but there was 1 to 3 playoff wins in this man over his career. And he got there once? I think he got to the playoff once. Yeah. And with the amount of talent that they had over the years to be as bad as they were, for him to try as hard as he should be the poster boy of the NFL. He should be. He's a good guy. He's a great face of the organization. He's a great teammate. And they can't even have a winning season. So thank you for sending me that that video of Derek Carr crying. Also, in an age where players never finish with the team they start with, he's an exception to the rule. He is the face of the Raiders.
Well, for now,
Yet,
let's see if he's still the Raiders
true.
quarterback. The Raiders quarterback next year.
Yeah, that is a good point. All right, we're going to get to the Raiders, but we have the Chargers backed up on their own one. They're down by 3. Keeping tabs on this game. Interesting. We had another game similar to this today where the team was backed up on the one, but playing for the win. So we're seeing a lot of similarities. Did you get flashbacks to All the Right Moves?
I did.
Wasn't that great? Where Rifleman fumbled the ball. It just needed to be raining, but it was kind of snowing.
It was in the elements, so that I definitely saw that feeling of jubilation that Buffalo made the big stop. You know, they're high-fiving, they're hugging, and next thing you know, big fumble, just like in All the Right Moves.
All their faces turn. All right, let's not jump ahead. Let's stick with this game since it's still going on right now. It's 4th and 3 for the Chargers. They do not convert. No flags on the field. It looks like the Niners are going to walk away with this one, 16-19. They turn the ball over on downs. Yeah, this maybe I shouldn't speak too early because of the games we watched today, but this is over. Niners are going to win this.
Yeah. Yep. So we're very happy. Moving on, 5-4, and again, our team is still, you know, it still may be a few games before they're in sync with their new weapon. You know.
Yeah, and watching the replay of this play here, like Herbert is being crushed all game long. I mean, it seems like Herbert has taken a lot of shots this year. Was there a team that everybody was not higher on than the Chargers this year? Seems like the Chargers were a darling of the offseason.
They really
and now
were.
They're struggling.
I could also put in that category the Cardinals. It seemed like
really
there was a lot of I heard a lot of Cardinals talk, and you know they're a team on the up and up, and another year under Kyler Murray's belt, and this, you know, he didn't even play today.
Yeah, it was a battle of the backups in that game. You know, it's funny, before the game, the NBC lead-in, when they do the, like, who you got, coach, for the win? Who you got, Jason Garrett, for the win? Who do you got, Chris Collinsworth's son? Everybody went San Francisco. Everybody picked. I thought that was unusual. And it took San Francisco pretty much a quarter and a half to get started in this game.
Yeah, really.
If you had told me, you know, sometimes I enjoy the pregame show more than the actual game. If you had told me 5 years ago that Sunday Night Football would be hosted by Tony Dungy and Jason Garrett, I would have said, okay, football is imploded on itself. Football is still. Do you believe that these two guys are in the booth with Maria Taylor and they are the play-by-play and color guy essentially of the booth? Right. They're so boring.
Yeah, really. I agree.
I don't get how they're still in there. Jason Garrett, a couple years ago, did you say like, oh, Jason Garrett will probably be in the booth?
Right. No, insane.
I don't get that at all. That is strange. End of the first half of this game, I'm halfway convinced that we can just fast forward to the last minute 45 of all these games in the first half. That's where all the excitement happens now.
Yeah, really.
We saw it in Minnesota. Even Jacksonville, Kansas City was an exciting end of the first half. But this half, San Francisco Chargers, we had a helmet-to-helmet into an ejection of the 49er defender. And then the backup QB comes in for the Chargers. They kick a field goal.
Right.
Yeah, and then we have to talk about quarterback safety for the all of the third quarter. Leading into, so you're going bad call. Yeah, I'm with you. I don't know what the guy's supposed to do at that point.
I can see flag. I mean, there was definitely a hit to the helmet, you know, but that was not a level of intent, you know, of malice, intent. That was a real bad call.
When did they start ejecting players for the helmet to helmet? I can't remember.
It's always been, but like we you know, you see it, you know, it's one of those things where actually when you see it, it's obvious. And even playing this back, I'm like, this isn't obvious, you know?
No, it's not. I don't see an ejection. I don't see it being like if we're gonna have ejections for helmet to helmet, can we have ejections for personal fouls for face masks? That seems like it would be along the same lines, don't you think? This seems like an overcorrection, and it really affects the game. Like the guy is kicked out
Right.
of the game. So that I think, I mean, we're on to controversy number 2 or 3 of penalties this year that really needs some re-looking at.
I agree.
So we had an ejection of it. How do you rate, or what's your thoughts of the Niners in this game? Christian McCaffrey just seems to be getting hotter and hotter.
Well,
There's a segment about his parents every single week now. And Jimmy G, I thought he looked good.
Yeah, I agree. And definitely a much a more consistent performance from Jimmy G. But hey, look, I'm getting some drama over here, Patrick. I'm not liking it.
Why? It's 4th and goal. The Niners we've got 1 minute left in the game. The Niners are lining up. They're not going to kick a field goal. I don't like this either. Why don't they kick it? It could be 22-16, but they're going to go for it. At least they're going to line up to go for it. We had a lot of 4th and goal going for it today. A couple 4th downs as well. Let's see what they do. Because if the Chargers stop them, there's no way they're going to run a play, are they? They're not really going to run a play. No, they're not. They call timeout. All right, that makes more sense. I feel better about that. That would be totally crazy if they went for it, right?
Would it?
Yeah, because what if they don't get it? Then the Chargers just have to go get a field goal with a whole minute. And it seems in the NFL, as soon as it comes to a minute, the defense just stands 30 yards back from the line of scrimmage and they let you throw the ball in front of them. Somehow defenses forget how to play defense. We'll get to that. That happened in the Buffalo game. So, minute 1, Niners are going to kick a field goal.
Okay.
All right. So we got a whole minute to go and it is 22-16. You know what? Now I'm getting worried about the kickoff. You always got to worry about the kickoff. They could squib it, but yeah, like I'm looking at the site. Justin Herbert is high-fiving everybody coming off the field. He's getting a chance at it. So
I think it's too much time for a squib.
It's too much time for a squib. As we saw, what was it, a year ago with 13 seconds, Kansas City?
Yes.
With the kick. So we have a squib coming. It seems to me Collinsworth was very energetic in this game. I don't know if you noticed this, but he was like McCaffrey talk, Garoppolo talk. He loves Justin Herbert. Did he seem more energetic to you?
Yes.
You seem very energetic today. You got the headband. I like this headband look.
I do too. Thanks.
Because you could go McEnroe, you could go Axl Rose, you could go 90s gang member.
Nah, it's all good.
You got the hair for it too, so you got the locks coming out of the back.
I was thinking, I think I want to cut it soon, but I don't know. I'm digging it. I'm really feeling it.
Your long hair. You like having long hair.
I think I'm a long hair guy.
Wow.
I tried the beard in the beginning of the pandemic, and I didn't like it.
Yeah, I remember you had the beard for a while.
Yeah, I had it for about at least 6 months.
Yeah, it was half of our Sunday night series, that's for sure. Half of the season. What do you do with the hair? Are you a slick it back Gordon Gekko guy? Are you a blow dry it guy?
No, slick it back like Gordon Gekko.
Wow.
It's definitely like the 1985 Pat Riley look.
Oh yeah, Pat Riley. That's a good model for it. You're going through a lot of changes. You got a bandana. You're slicking your hair back. You change your profile picture on Instagram. I saw you're not a big Instagram guy, and yet you have a new profile picture on there.
Yeah,
a lot of changes going on at the Carmona house.
And I'm still doing my yoga, and I'm still doing my meditation, and I love it.
Wow. And you're going to get a 49er win, most likely. Jeez.
Ugh,
What is
I'm telling
this?
you, this Herbert's got a big arm.
Yeah, he does. He does. What is this? What is this win going to mean for you, though? What do you think moving forward?
It's just, again, I think we still have to gel so many new moving pieces. Oh, see, I just saw the interception. So many moving pieces. We got to get in sync. So, but it's going to be a little while. But I think our defense is getting healthy, making big plays, and so Jimmy just can't make mistakes. And I think this could be the beginning of a good 49ers run.
Well, it looks like it's going to go final 16-22 49ers over the Chargers on a Sunday night. Collinsworth is pumped. Jimmy G played well. McCaffrey just seems like he's just getting better and better every week. So what a way to cap off your Sunday night as opposed to the exact opposite of what mine was.
Well, let's talk about that. We can move on from this game.
All right, where do you want to start? Do you want to start from the best game on? Do you want to start Germany? Do you want to start Germany game?
No, I want to start the funeral game.
Funeral game? All right. Let's start.
Patrick, I just want you energetic and pumped up for the rest of the show. So let's just get this out of the way.
All right. Well, let's get this out of the way. Indianapolis at the hapless Las Vegas Raiders. This game really starts, Wednesday or Tuesday before with the hiring of Jeff Saturday as the Colts head coach. Zero coaching experience, Hall of Fame player, former Colt player, just takes the head coaching role and in his press conference is already on the defensive.
Yeah, already like... Yeah,
Already.
He hasn't played a game yet, and he's pissed off all of a sudden.
Which maybe is a good sign. He's like, I played with the best. Am I gonna make mistakes? Yes. Do I know great football? Yes. Am I new to coaching? Yes. It was the most random press conference, and he hasn't coached a game yet. And yeah. I'm thinking, all right, we're the second half of the season. The season just got fun. Now we have something to talk about. We got the Jeff Saturday show happening. So that goes on. And I didn't really notice this. You brought it up a little bit as well. The ire that was brought up from the hiring of Jeff Saturday from former coaches or
Bill
other
Cowher,
coaches.
I mean,
Bill Cowher was one.
It's like he's one of the godfathers. I think we can say of modern day coaching. And for him to be so vocal and to like visibly look disgusted.
I thought he was going to cry.
That was huge.
He was giving, like, if he was on this Zoom, we would have played the graduation music over him. He was really distraught. I listened to another sports show and someone brought up the point. He's like, we live in a world where all the teams have to have minority interviews. And then we go like, what about black coaches? He was like, right. I saw this hire. And I was like, what about white coaches? Jeff Saturday just waltzes in, no coaching experience, just I would guess a champion of the Colts. And then the flip side is Colts can hire whoever they want, I suppose. But it is an odd hire. I don't think anybody saw this coming.
Right.
Frank Reich out. The Colts we're struggling. And if anything, you're going to hire a guy for half a season. Why not? Ultimately, I think why not? I don't mind the hire at all. I like Jeff Saturday. Seems cool. And so that's where this story starts. And then the game starts and the Raiders are essentially asleep for the first half of the game. Dropping balls, penalties. Jeff Saturday actually looks slim on the sideline.
Right.
Yep. And then, of course, like any other Raider game, it comes down to last possession. And the play call on, I think it's 4th and goal, after another drop, by the way, is jump ball to Adams. That's the whole play call. Let's throw a jump ball. And it's incomplete. The Raiders lose again. And Derek Carr cries at the press conference as well. So what a bummer. And I'm on Raiders Twitter and Instagram. There was a lot of hate. There's a lot of hate. There's a lot of anger, rightfully so. So let's ask the question now. Monday morning, McDaniels is gone, right?
I don't see how he's not.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's got to go. I think they got to make the change now, and I think we've probably seen the last of Josh McDaniels too as a head coach in the NFL.
Yeah, I think that's possible. Like I'm watching the game and they lose, and I'm like, yeah, they're gonna get rid of McDaniels this season. And I'm thinking like, no, they gotta get rid of him today. There's no
Yeah,
way this guy can represent your team. They've lost 3 games by being up, what, 17-0, 20-0 in one. This game was pitiful.
it's
Penalties.
pitiful because of you have to win this game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's
Playing
no,
a team that has a new head coach as of Wednesday.
but how about this? What I was thinking, how is it that with all the distractions the Raiders had off the field last year, and to perform much better, with all that was going on, I think that's just says a lot about the organization.
Yeah, I think a lot of blame goes to McDaniels, but I think the bigger question becomes, the organization. What is going on in this organization? How have we been this bad for this long?
Guys were being charged with manslaughter and weapons charges and threats, and it was DWIs. It was just a nightmare,
Yeah. But I think we've seen that most teams can overcome those. The DW and the off the field stuff. It's just let's just look at it in a vacuum. Let's just look at what's on the field. It's not defendable.
Right.
The penalties, the losing the leads year in, year out. And in McDaniels, this is your first year and you put up a horrible product. I was a fan of McDaniels. I was like, yeah, that's a good hire. But thinking about it now, I was like, this guy was not proven. This guy had no coaching record other than he was good with Belichick as an offensive coordinator for a few seasons. But what Belichick assistant has ever gone to success as a head coaching role? I can't think of one. Can you?
No, I can't.
I can't either. Romeo Cornell, no.
Charlie Weiss, no.
Charlie Weiss, no. Vrabel's good.
Yeah, but it's still out on him. Patricia ended up back.
Matt Patricia's back, right? So really, this is the old adage of like, get the offensive coordinator of the really good team. That's dead for the Patriots. Don't hire them. They work in one system and one system only.
Right.
That was sad. And then you see Derek Carr crying, and it's disheartening. It's time to move on from the coach and then possibly Carr.
So season's over. That's the funeral.
It's over. I'm in my funeral gear.
Okay.
That's it. I buried him last week. I think the family decided to cancel all life-saving services. And then this week was the actual death.
Okay. I respect that.
So like I'm watching, I told myself I'm not going to watch the game. I'm done with the Raiders. I'll just keep an eye on the score. I end up watching the game, and then like halfway through, like I lose touch. And then I hear on the radio, like, oh, they're up 20-19. I'm like, hey, how about that? Good for them. And then I hear the Colts get the lead, and I'm like, I don't have the energy. I don't have the energy to watch this last drive. I can't. Like, if they win, great. If they lose, they're probably going to lose. Doesn't matter. Does not matter anymore. We're not going to get on a run. McDaniels isn't going to turn it around. Waller isn't going to secretly heal. There's no turning the ship around. We might as well start fresh at the end of this season. And
I'm with you.
Yeah, so now it becomes a question of like, who, as a player, who quits on the team and who tries hard the rest of the season? Because now we know who to keep, who has value, who doesn't. So RIP to the Las Vegas Raiders. Hey, what if they move back to Oakland? Can we move back? No, that's too crazy.
I can't do that.
That's too crazy.
Too much money. Too much money.
Too crazy. I'm done with that game unless you have any other thoughts. Other than Matt Ryan runs for 35 yards apparently too. That should have been a big red flag. All right. Well, let's go to the blockbusters of the game. Let's talk real football, unless you want to talk Germany first, which I woke up early to watch, by the way.
You did? Okay, good for you.
Well, I texted you like, I think I'm going to wake up early and watch this game.
Right.
So it's on it.
I caught the end, and it was a decent game.
Yeah. And I look online and it says it's on at 6:30 in the morning. So I say, great, set my alarm. And I, what do I do? turn on CBS. I'm like, what game would be better suited for CBS at 6:30 in the morning? And it's not on. I'm like, it's the morning show. It's the ultimate old person CBS morning show where we're talking about ponds and state fairs. I'm like, where the hell is this game? So then I find out it's on NFL Network. So I have to watch the pirated feed of it. And it's kind of cool because it's at nighttime in Germany. You got Tom Brady. You got Geno Smith. And then you had this weird 4-man commentator booth.
Right.
It was Rich Eisen, Michael Irvin, Kurt Warner, and I don't know who the fourth one was. There was a fourth one, though. And have you seen Kurt Warner lately?
No.
He looks totally different. He's
Now
full.
I gotta look him up.
He's full gray. Look him up. He's full gray, but he has some length, and he's got a full gray beard. He looks like the John Hamm Santa Claus, essentially.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I couldn't recognize him.
Wow.
So you have these 4 guys in the booth commentating, which was fun.
His deal.
Yeah, Kurt Warner, man. Who knew he would be? And he's pretty good. I like Kurt Warner. And
I think he's excellent. He's a real bright guy. And I'd be interested to see if he's ever going to take a stab at coaching.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. I always liked Kurt Warner. You know, I don't like the Jesus guys. And yet Kurt Warner, I always liked him. I always thought he had a great story, had great perspective, great player. I wanted him to win that Pittsburgh, Arizona Super Bowl. I thought that would have been great for him.
Yeah.
You know, the thing with the Germany game is, you know what I could have used? More shots of the crowd. Like I wanted to see the international crowd. It seemed like they could have done more. Like the crowd does the wave at one point, which was pretty cool. I want to see the crowd some more.
That'd be nice.
Yep. And then lastly, I don't know what Tampa Bay was doing with this one, even though I still liked it. They did the quarterback backwards pass, and then Brady went out for a route. I was like,
Right.
What are you doing?
Again. And
what are you doing?
Can we just put that play to bed forever?
And definitely not in Germany. Don't be doing this overseas.
Yeah, and Tom Brady is not he's never going to execute that play. He's not going to catch Jerry Rice, in that stat category. So let's just leave it alone.
And even if he does execute it and get a touchdown, like for what? We've seen him do everything. We don't need this play. He's like in baseball when you have the designated hitter. The pitcher does not need to bat. We don't need this.
But another Tom Brady win, and now they're definitely in the thick of things in their division. So here we go. Here comes Tom Brady all of a sudden.
Who's talking about Tom Brady being depressed from a divorce anymore? Nobody. Winning cures all. And I bet Tom Brady's happy with this too.
Also, just on the side note, you mentioned the crowd. Look up tomorrow or YouTube. The in the stands they were singing "Take Me Home, Old Country Road." It was
really,
yeah, real cool rendition. The whole crowd got
the crowd was Oh, I'm gonna look that up. Why were they doing that? Do you know?
They love that. What's funny is when I hung out at a bar in Austria, not too far from Munich, and that the bartender, he was the owner, and he always played that song, and everyone got into it in the bar. Maybe it was a big thing in Europe.
Wow, interesting. Also, where do you think? So we've had games in Germany, London, Mexico. Where do you think it goes next? Like what else can the NFL do besides have a playoff game, which I don't think will ever happen, but that would be one step. Like what else can the NFL do is having a regular season game in the middle of the season. Like now these are important games.
Like could the NFL do a game in South Africa?
Oh, right. Like it seems like all of Europe is very possible. That's like a trip across the country, so that's possible for teams.
Yeah, I mean, I anticipate games in Paris and
those seem easy. France, Rome, Spain, that'd be good.
But ultimately, I could see, South Africa. I think with the Mid East, I don't see Mid East just because of I don't think the NFL can take any more like controversies with, human rights and all that stuff. So I don't foresee that. Possibly Japan. Out in the out
Wait, are you saying the NFL is going to put morality in front of potential financial gain?
Uh-oh. Hey, let's stop that conversation right now.
Sorry,
Okay.
you almost got me into like NBA pontificating. Like, hey,
Yeah.
NBA, we put our little slogans on our jerseys, but we don't seem to have a problem selling our product to China, do we, NBA? Sorry, NBA, Greg Popovich. I call BS on your sanctimonious rant. Sorry, Pat Rants.
There you go. That's a Pat Rans.
Could have played myself. I could have played the graduation music over myself on that one. Okay, forget all that. Let's talk about the big game of the day. Miami, Minnesota at Buffalo. Early game. It's cold. We got snowing down on the field. This was real deal football. We had a hot start, Kirk Cousins at the beginning, and then he goes back to regular Kirk Cousins for about a quarter and a half. And somehow he pulls it off. What do we have to draw from this Minnesota game? Because it almost was like we had two games. The first 3.5 quarters, and in the fourth and in the overtime.
Right. But what a game. And Minnesota is now like they've only had one loss, and I don't think anybody wants to play them, right? Does it feel
right
like that nobody wants to play them? And then the ugly Kirk Cousins, if you're a superstitious person, the ugly Kirk Cousins stat came in. No team that has lost to Kirk Cousins in a regular season has made it to a Super Bowl.
Oh, really? Oh, ominous stat.
It's crazy, right?
Oh, Jesus. I think, the Buffalo faithful took a hit today because that was a bitter loss. And like, if you want to pick a team this year that is the nobody believes in us team, I think it's got to be the Vikings because they're 7-1 going into this game. And I see an Instagram post that lists all the wins of the Vikings and essentially a rationalization of why they beat every single team.
Right,
so it's like
right.
Packers week 1, parentheses, Packers always lose week 1. Washington week 2, Washington hasn't beat a team since 1997. Yeah. Such and such week 3, this team is bottom ranked defense. There was no, I'm like, but they won those games, right? So this one is very hard to dismiss, although this game was lost. They should have lost this game. And it was such a good game. Even in the overtime, I was like, I want this game to end in a tie. I'm fine with this game ended in a tie.
Are we setting up the showdown? We'll talk about the next, the next week's opponent next. Their game, Vikings Cowboys, huge playoff implications here.
Oh, that's big. That's big. Let's talk about the hot spots of this game. I thought the game really turned on that Josh Allen interception on 4th down, 4th and 2. They go for it. They're up 10. Allen rolls out and just throws one up and it gets picked off. Number one, we're back to an analytics conversation. You're up 10. Why don't you kick the field goal? It's not like Kirk Cousins was mowing you down at the moment.
I know.
So analytics bites us in the ass or something. That was bad. Bad decision by Josh Allen. And I thought Vikings got a little momentum out of that. And they really started to think that, okay, we took their big shot. Now we can come back.
I did not like it. Did not like the call.
No, I didn't like it either. But
now, we talked, I think we texted each other, time to table the Josh Allen MVP talk so early.
Yeah.
He, 4 red zone interceptions over the last 2 weeks. And he's thrown his fair share of picks, right, this year. So
yeah,
he's got to get better.
Let's go to the last drive, or Minnesota's last drive in regulation. It's 4th and 13. They throw that crazy pass that Jefferson somehow catches with one hand. Did they review that? They reviewed it, right?
Right.
And that was a catch.
Crazy. Now,
so they catch that.
Is it better than Beckham's catch?
Let me think. Beckham's catch was a pure one-handed in space. Jefferson's, it's almost like the Buffalo guy's hands helped that ball secure into Jefferson's body, but the stakes were way higher on this fourth down play. So I think you got to go to Jefferson. And then a couple plays later, Jefferson had that catch on the sidelines, which they did not review. I can't believe they didn't review that. In a world where we review every helmet to helmet, every catch, every fumble, every step, that one doesn't get reviewed. At least take a look at it.
And that play, if you do not like conspiracy theories, that play messes you up because now the conspiracy theorists are coming out saying, did the NFL do that on purpose?
Why would they do that? Well, what's the conspiracy though?
You want Buffalo. You don't want the game to end. The game.
You're saying for Buffalo?
Yeah.
Yeah. So then they go down to the goal line. 4th and goal. This is the first 4th and goal. They get a free play because Buffalo jumps the snap. Kirk Cousins flips it out, and the guy drops it. I wonder if he would have got in if he had caught it. But he drops it, but they get another 4th down, and they go full Reggie Bush push. Cousins does not get in. And you're like, damn, they blew it. Should they have ran it? Should they have passed it? Should they have chosen another play? Let's just stick with the 4th down play. What do you think about the QB sneak? I mean, he didn't get in, we know, but what do you think? Should they?
I think you.
It's not like Kirk Cousins is a bulldozer or anything.
No, I know, but I like the call. You?
Yeah, I don't mind it. I think you're damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Right.
They already did a bootleg pass on the previous 4th down. So they didn't get it. I would have said, like, since when is Kirk Cousins, good at QB sneak? So let's do a run. Let's go a run instead. Jefferson was on fire. I wouldn't have minded a rollout and try and get him somewhere, but plays okay. So they don't get it. And then we recreate all the right moves with Josh Allen, his next critical mistake of fumbling the snap. Maybe that's half on the center, half on him, though. Don't you think?
I agree. Possibly. Quite possibly.
Yeah. What should they have done? What should Buffalo have done?
No, just executed the snap, the snap exchange correctly. It's, if you play the numbers, Josh Allen 6'7", you know what I mean? Like, it's not a bad call. You're going to trust him to do that,
Mm-hmm.
Just, obviously hindsight, but hey, they should have lost that game. They should not have been in that position. This is on them.
Let's pick some alternative plays. Should they have attempted to take the safety? Josh Allen maybe even goes in the shotgun and runs around and takes a safety. Do you think that would be anything worth? Like, my thought would be like, there's no way I want to give this ball back to Minnesota. Just seeing what Jefferson just did. So I'm with him. Like, we got to run some plays to get out of the end zone.
You can't take the safety. It's overtime.
I thought they were up 4. Oh, wait. Hold on. Wasn't it 23-27?
Was that it?
Yeah, because Minnesota missed an extra point.
You're right.
So they were down 4.
I got confused.
Right. Again, a missed extra point leads Minnesota to having to go for the touchdown anyway. So they were up 23-27. Buffalo was. They got the ball on their own 1-yard line, and that's when Allen fumbles it. So that means Minnesota. You see, there's a whole game in this last minute.
Yeah.
That means Minnesota went to 30-27. Then Buffalo. Then we go onto the Minnesota defensive side, and somehow Minnesota forgets all rules of physics and football, and they give Buffalo 4 or 5 straight completions for 8 yards to 15 yards on a sideline.
Crazy. That was
what
crazy.
Are they doing? What every week we have this conversation. We had it last week with Bucks Rams. Why do defenses do this? I don't know. Do they hate us or do they want these games to go into overtime?
They want the games to go into overtime.
Back to conspiracy Carmona.
Yeah.
Jesus, it was like Josh Allen was like, did he have one incomplete in this whole drive? Nope. Let me just complete 4 passes in a row. You guys going to give it to us? We'll step out of bounds. So they get the field goal, and now we go into overtime, which my feed cut out. Like they didn't televise the overtime. I had to go into DirecTV streaming to find the overtime, and even then, it took a couple minutes for the stream to be active. So Minnesota goes down, gets a field goal. Now it's on Josh Allen's shoulders, and he throws the pick, which we still don't know what he was looking at. They were going to tie it. It seemed like the moment was too much for him in this game in the end. The fumble, the pick, devastating loss. So Minnesota highs can be. Buffalo now. What did Buffalo drop to 3rd in the division?
Yeah, crazy, huh?
Yeah. So what do we have to do at Buffalo to regroup here? Stephon Diggs is pissed. Josh Allen. No more MVP, Josh Allen.
Go back to the basics. You're still, in my opinion, the best football team in the league. You'll figure it out.
And then flip side, Minnesota. You got to feel like you're unbeatable at this point. You go into cold Buffalo.
But now they got Dallas coming up. That's going to be another signature win if they can get that one.
Has there been any releasing of Kirk Cousins dancing on the airplane yet? Do we know that?
I don't know.
Because I thought that was his death knell. I was like, oh, great. Now we all think he's good. They're going to lose for sure. But no, he got another week and they got another win.
Yeah.
Wow.
Let's go to the next game. Packers, Cowboys.
All right. You want to go Packers, Cowboys. Great uniform matchup. You know, I love uniform matchups.
Yep. And they're just 2 classic franchises.
Aaron Rodgers' thumb is all taped up, which I thought was fake because I'm like, oh, this is going to be the excuse after the game. And I don't want to I don't want to, jump the gun, but I also don't want to hold back. But Carmona, are you ready?
Yeah.
The pack is back, Omar. The pack is back. They're going on a run.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Come on, go with me on this one.
No. So what do you think? What do you see more likely? A pack run or a Dallas spiral? Downward spiral.
Shoot, that's tough. Because
I have an answer.
You have the answer?
I have an answer.
I'm gonna go Dallas gets on a track, goes on a run.
They're gonna
between
go
the
down.
2. If I'm the pick one or the other.
So you're saying Dallas is gonna struggle now?
No, I say Dallas goes on a run. I say they get back on track.
You think I meant a Packers successful run, a Dallas unsuccessful.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm saying that this signals huge problems for the Cowboys moving forward. Dak Prescott looked horrible.
Yeah. Shoot. Now you're kind of talking me into this. He did. He struggled. He missed receivers.
Now he's the problem with that offense. He's holding the offense back, in my opinion.
Yeah, I didn't see his stat, but he had 2 bad INTs. One of them maybe isn't his fault. Maybe it was the receiver, but like really bad ones. Just critical times when like that play has to be on point. Throws a pick. And then we go into the overtime. Dallas has the ball. It's 4th and 4. They go for it. It would have been a 50. What was the distance? It would have been 52, 54-yard kick.
51, 52, yeah.
So your options are kick a field goal, go for it, or hold on, this still exists in the NFL, punt it.
Yeah.
They go for it. They don't. What's the thinking there? Were they so afraid of the Packers offense?
I think, did they have any faith in their own defense?
But I don't know.
Aaron Jones was having a decent game. Obviously that Watson kid was getting some big catches for big yardage, but nonetheless, I thought it was a very strange call. I would have gone for the field goal. I would have tried to give.
I would have thought so too.
A shot to end it on the road.
Yeah, they show him on the sideline. The kicker had his foot on the heater. He was ready to go, man. His foot was warm. And Yeah, I thought that it was almost like McCarthy was like, well, we either got to go for it or kick it. Like the punt never entered his head. I don't know. I don't know what was going on there. Packers go down. They kick the field goal. You're texting me Aaron Rodgers game manager. Why are you texting me Aaron Rodgers game manager now?
Was he not? I mean, he wasn't going for the strikes, and I mean, and then the ones that he did do, very successful. But he managed the game. And remember, he had some big interceptions last week against Detroit, but this week he did a lot better.
I know we can't give Aaron Rodgers any credit for anything ever, but maybe he took a step back. Maybe he looked at that Detroit game and said like, hey, I'm the problem. I got to hand the ball off. I got to make smarter decisions. Maybe although he did mouth off to the coach on the sideline. I don't know if you saw that.
I did.
Yeah, that was good. That was good. We can't have a game where Rodgers isn't pissed off. He was sad Rodgers last week. This week he was just like angry eyes Rodgers.
Yep.
What was the other game here? Let's go back to the early games. Cleveland, Miami. I got Miami just looks strong.
Just looks strong.
They just look strong. Cleveland a little feisty, but nothing there. And then I have as the least watchable game of the day, New Orleans at Pittsburgh, 20-10. Already a weird score.
A weird score, but it didn't turn out to be a terrible game, and it was a game that Pittsburgh had to have. I mean, I'm not saying they're going to make the playoffs, but I think from a franchise standpoint, it was a win they had to have. And the other game I wanted to talk about, wow, the record's not great, but I think the Bears may have found a quarterback.
Yeah, I got that game here. Although they lost 31-30, the Bears seem to always lose by 1 to 7 points. These games again, missed extra point on the Bears side. Fields looks like he is like a mini Michael Vick at sometimes. Yeah. The only hard part is he always looks mad. Fields is always pissed off. Like he doesn't look happy there at all. But I'm with you. Like this is a guy that maybe they're an offensive coordinator or like a buddy receiver, like he's friends with the receiver away from really having something because he shows some real flashes out there.
Yeah, for sure. But also not many exciting games either. Like, Atlanta at Carolina on Thursday, not great. Baker Mayfield is headbutting people with no helmet on. That's kind of weird.
What a turnaround. Remember Baker Mayfield like a month ago is sitting on the bench with his ball cap on and he looks like his grandma just died. And then flash forward to Thursday, he's pumped up. He's jumping up and down on the sidelines. Like, are the Carolina Panthers turning around? Is Baker Mayfield just saying like, hey, fuck it, I'm just having fun the rest of this season? I don't know. I like him being happy though.
Yeah.
The last thing on the Detroit-Chicago game, Dan Campbell is going nuts on the sideline because now Detroit has won 2 in a row.
Right.
I wonder if they can mess up somebody's season or somehow flirt with a wild card.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
It'd be interesting, right? Goff, we got Goff to talk about, Dan Campbell. And then lastly, I love Mark Sanchez as a commentator in the games. He called that game. And he's almost like just a bumbling fan like you and I calling the game. He's like, whoa, I don't know about that play. That's all he says.
Yeah.
And I love it. I'll take it. You know which game, for some reason, I had a lot of interest in watching. I don't know why, because it wasn't that great a game. Was Jacksonville at Kansas City.
Yes. But, I'm another team that they're losing and their record's not going to be great. I like where Jacksonville's going. Call me crazy.
Yeah, for some reason, they're like this Cinderella team that you inherently root for. For some reason, I thought this would be a good game because, number one, it's cold in KC. It's that like sunny cold out there. And the Jags are fairly feisty. And then they have the oddest end of the first half, start of the third quarter. They're down 20-0. And the Jags mount this minute 30 drive across the whole fucking field. And they get a touchdown. And you're like, wow, look at this. They get the ball in the second half. They go on an 8-minute drive. They score a touchdown. It gets called back. They kick a field goal. They miss the field goal. And then it's back to Kansas City just rolling up some points on them. Yeah. So I'm like, God, man, like this was on the verge of being a good game for some reason in my brain.
But there was also some ugly games too. I didn't really get into the Texans Giants. I didn't get
Right. I
into
watched a little bit of that one. That was,
the battle of the backups. The Arizona Rams. Rams look bad, 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 bad.
yeah.
They're in danger of a Super Bowl champion not even making the playoffs the next year.
And then, yeah, like I don't think any of us predicted the Rams were going to slump. We were all on Cincinnati to slump, and the
Mm-hmm.
Rams look like they're struggling. And then Detroit, Denver, Tennessee, and I wrote down Russell goes full Russell, which is a bad thing now.
Uh, Bad.
Russell goes Russell.
Mm-hmm.
You know, with the Arizona Rams thing, Colt McCoy starts. He's the backup, but it was almost like the backup comes in, but the whole team was like breathing a sigh of relief because they were like, "Oh, okay, no drama. We're not gonna have any drama." It's almost like this was an upgrade for some reason. Like almost like the star player is the star, but he's a pain in the ass, and you're actually better when he's out. So we had two backup quarterbacks. This game was completely boring for a full half. The most exciting part was when they go into the crowd, the camera, and they show Walter White and Jesse Pinkman from Breaking Bad in the crowd sitting next to each other.
That was awesome.
I'm like, awesome. Awesome. Yeah, look at those guys. LA game. All right, yeah, celebs. That was good. And then Arizona gets the one. Have you watched the Hard Knocks in season yet?
I don't think I will.
No, I want to watch it so bad. You don't?
No, I've just never. I'm not a Kingsbury fan.
What are you eating over there? What is that? Oh,
Turkey.
okay. I don't know what you're doing. I don't know what you're up to over there. Yeah, I want to watch. I want to see the Raiders come back. I want to see if there's any Kyler freaking out footage. I'm gonna give it a one episode try.
Okay.
What have we left out? Did we get all the games? Yeah, San Francisco was a Sunday night game.
All right.
So much action. Every early game seemed fun. I had the 4 games going on the Foursquare Direct TV, and I'm just flipping game to game whenever I see something happen. And it's kind of funny when you do that. You look up, one game's on a commercial, you flip to another one. I swear to God, you watch 35 seconds, it goes to a commercial, then you flip to another game. Mm-hmm. You really chase football sometimes. So, what do we think big picture? We're halfway through the season. Our division leaders are Miami, Baltimore, Tennessee, Kansas City, Philadelphia, Minnesota, Tampa Bay, Seattle. Is our Super Bowl matchup in there somewhere, do you think, the division leaders?
It's very possible. I think so. I'm gonna give the NFC's gonna, in my opinion, gonna be a Niner Vikings showdown. Because I'm really impressed with this Vikings team. And I do think the Eagles are gonna flounder away. I'm still big on the Bills. Call me crazy. I'm still big on the Bills, but their division rival, the Dolphins, are going to be very dangerous.
Yeah, the Dolphins today manhandled the Browns, and it seems like they're on fire when they need to be. I feel like we're swapping Minnesota for the Dolphins. We're like Minnesota number 1 now, Dolphins I'm skeptical of. I don't know why we're so reluctant to put the Dolphins as a real contender. So Miami, Baltimore, Tennessee, Kansas City, any of those teams not make the playoffs?
Titans aren't.
Yeah, I could see a world where the Titans.
Yeah, I could see the Titans mess up.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, Philadelphia, Minnesota, Tampa Bay, Seattle. Who doesn't make the playoffs of those teams?
Possibly Seattle.
You think so? We were about to anoint Geno Smith last week.
No. You anoint him as an upgrade, and he's made an improvement in his career. He's still Geno Smith. Oh.
What do you give him, Andrew Dice Clay? Oh. Geno Smith. Oh. All right. So talking about the games halfway through the season is so long. We wrote off the Raiders last week. I think we wrote off the Packers too.
Yeah, we did.
Are we writing
I'm,
off
I'm,
any new teams this week?
I'm not bringing them back.
You're keeping them in the write-off zone.
Yes.
Are we writing off any teams this week? Are we going to write off Indianapolis even after a win? Can you do that?
No. And then, because that division's not that great. Who knows? Crazier things have happened.
Did we write off Cleveland? No, we didn't.
We can write them off.
You're going to write off Cleveland. New Orleans, keep them or write them off?
Write them off.
I think we wrote off both Detroit and Chicago last week.
Right.
And we did not write off Denver. Do we write off Denver?
Yes.
No chance.
We already wrote off Pittsburgh, right?
Oh, yeah. I think that was our first one.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And they won. Sometimes you can win and be a write-off.
Hey, Pat, you and I have really written off a lot of people already.
Jeez, we're only halfway through. We need to make a list of which ones of our write-offs are coming back.
Yeah, I know.
Well, I wrote off the Packers last week, and now I'm all the way on the Packers side. Aaron Rodgers on the comeback. Like every year, one team is going to turn around. Every year, one team. So we can't be surprised by this. So what games did we leave out? Oh, we even talked Thursday night with the Baker Mayfield.
Yeah.
Headbutt. So this week, I watched all the games actually on TV. I didn't go on my Vision Quest this week. So I went for a more tame viewing. How do you watch the games these days?
Well, I did the Europe game I did on the radio.
So you woke up early too.
Well, but I caught like the end, like maybe like the last quarter.
Yeah.
But who else? It's hard because Camilo had basketball game today. So, and then besides, I was more focused on getting ready for the night game that I was going to watch. Also, another thing, Pat, I'm old. I fell asleep on the couch. On a football Sunday. What's wrong with me?
On the afternoon game or the Sunday night game?
It was the afternoon game.
You're old. Well, you do text me more and more like, let's start this show early. Let's start it in the fourth quarter. Like by the end of the season, you're going to be texting me like, let's start at halftime with a late game. let's just start it. Hey, whatever it takes. Yeah, I hear you. You got kids, you're eating jerky, you're wearing headbands, you got a lot of shit going on.
I do.
You're changing your profile picture. We got a new Carmona here, but you're still on the yoga and the meditating.
That I am.
All right. Good for you. All right. Well, let's go to the game because we talked football games, but we always have a game as well on the show. And, we've done a few weeks of movie games. We did the Val Kilmer. We did the Rotten Tomatoes. So I'm sticking with the movie theme this week. I listened to a lot of movie podcasts, a lot of movie reviews, and I've gotten on a director kick lately. Some of my favorite movies are, have some consistency with directors. So I chose a game in which I'm going to give you 4 movies and you are going to try and pair up 2 that are directed by the same director.
Okay.
And these are movies of our youth, of our young adulthood that you most likely have seen.
Okay, I think I'm going to struggle on this one, but let's try.
You're not a big director guy? What do you mean?
No.
Who are your guys? Who are your main directors you like?
Scorsese, obviously. That's a big one.
Yeah. Well, aren't you a big Godfather guy?
Yeah, absolute Coppola for sure.
Yeah. All right. Well, you've done well in the other games, so I'm going to make this one a little harder. So again, these are 4 movies. 2 of them are directed by the same director. You're going to try and match up the 2.
Okay.
So for the first one, movie number 1, Crimson Tide, Jurassic Park, Hoosiers, The Fan. Which of those 2 movies are directed by the same director?
The first one was
Crimson Tide.
And the second one was
Jurassic Park, Hoosiers,
those 2.
The Fan.
Those 2. Michael Crichton.
Say which two?
The first two.
Crimson Tide and Jurassic Park?
Yes.
All right. The two matching movies are Crimson Tide and The Fan. The director is Tony Scott.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
I was
All
even
right.
wrong with the director.
Yeah. Michael Crichton is the writer, not the director.
Oh, yeah. You're right.
All right, here we go. Now I think you got the gist of the game.
Yeah.
Here are your movies. Blue Chips, The Exorcist, Pet Sematary, The Last Boy Scout.
God. Read them one more time. Blue Chips.
Blue Chips, The Exorcist, Pet Sematary, The Last Boy Scout.
Blue Chips and The Last Boy Scout.
The movies are Blue Chips and The Exorcist, both directed by William Friedkin.
Wow.
Who directs The Exorcist and Blue Chips?
Crazy. Maybe that would explain the Nick Nolte rant.
Yeah, that's right. Tell me you didn't shave points, Tony. Get this, The Exorcist 1973, Blue Chips 1994. Like a 20-year difference between these two movies. All right, here we go. Number 3. Jerry Maguire, Stripes, Footloose, Draft Day.
Jerry Maguire, Stripes,
Footloose, Draft Day. By the way, Draft Day is streaming, I think, on Netflix right now. I have some thoughts on Draft Day.
I want to go Draft Day and Jerry Maguire only because they're football movies. Well, I guess, yeah, that's it.
Okay. The movies are Stripes and Draft Day. Ivan Reitman.
Oh, I didn't even know
director of those two. Yeah. Jerry Maguire is Cameron Crowe, I believe.
Pat, I'm getting killed here.
Yeah, I know you are. I thought you would have gotten that one for some reason.
Oh.
All right, one more to go.
Good.
Speed, Back to the Future, Castaway, U-571.
Back to the Future and Castaway.
The movies are Back to the Future and Castaway. You got it. Was that a pure guess, or do you know the director?
James Cameron.
Robert Zemeckis. You're in the general area.
I thought Zemeckis. The name came up, but I don't know. I talked myself out of Zemeckis. Damn it.
You're in the world though, I think. All right, not bad. How well do you know your directors? You got the one I thought you would get right wrong, and the one I thought you would get wrong right. Not bad. That's the director movie game. The director matchup.
I like it. We'll try to revisit that one.
A little tougher. All right. Now that we've done the game, now it's time for the weekly awards, which we do every week. This week, we had a ton. I have a ton of nominees and award winners this week. So let's start with the first one off the top, the Overbearing Parent Award. Omar, you have the floor. Kick us off.
The Overbearing Parent Award. I'm sorry, I think we've already talked about this in previous weeks, but Mr. Davis, it is time to have that difficult phone call with your son. You got to throw him out of the house.
Wait, you're saying Mark Davis calls his son Josh Allen and throws him out? What do you mean?
No, Mark Davis calls his son Josh McDaniels, you mean, out.
Oh, right. Throws, yeah. I'll go one better. Al Davis from the grave comes back to Mark Davis in a vision and has to have a talk with his son because he's ruining his legacy.
I like that one. I think that's possible.
That has to happen. He needs to terrify him in his bed.
Pat, on the record, a seance, a Raiders seance. This funeral turned into a seance.
It needs to happen. Yeah, I got my funeral gear on. We need to light candles. We need to hang some dream catchers. We need a shaman.
Let's do it.
Maybe you can loan me your headband. I'm ready to go for the seance to resurrect Al Davis to have a talk with his own son, Mark Davis. My other nominee for the Overbearing Parent Award is Josh Allen. I think his parents need a consoling slash like you need to get your head in the game in those crucial moments type of talk, but consoling first.
Let's console. I like it.
All right. Hot take award. First of all, can I tell you the 2 hot takes I crossed out after this week? I had these 2 hot takes ready to go. Here's the first one I had a hot take on. Aaron Rodgers will not finish the season as the Packers QB. I crossed it out. He's back.
Okay, he's back. Yep. We got to cross that one out.
Second hot take I have to cross out. Chicago will turn it around this season. I crossed that one out. I crossed it out.
Okay.
It's bad.
Okay. I got one for you.
Okay.
Dak Prescott is not the starting quarterback at the end of the Cowboys season.
Whoa, that's a hot take.
That is a hot take.
Cooper Rush, attorney at law, is back. I don't know. If he has one more bad week next week, like we have to talk about it, right? We have to say, let's get Cooper Rush some reps. Jeez.
Yep.
Jeez. And then my real hot take, maybe this isn't even a hot take, but McDaniels gets fired on Monday. He has to.
Okay, I'm with you.
Got to. I'm more curious about this Dak not finishing the season as the Cowboys starter. Ooh. I don't know how I feel about this.
No, it's possible.
All right. The cringeworthy award for the week. I have 2 nominees. Nominee number 1 is Josh Allen's stats, 2 interceptions, and a horrific all the right moves fumble are extremely cringeworthy. And then I have the Jaguars end of the first half, start of the second half. Just odd and touchdown. You got all the momentum in the world. You score a touchdown, it gets brought back, and you miss a field goal.
Yeah.
Just, the game's lost at that point.
Yeah, well, the cringeworthy for me was definitely it was the Josh Allen quarterback sneak.
Man, that was bad. I still don't know how the ref could determine that the Minnesota guy got the ball in the end zone. It just seems like there's a pile of bodies, and he just was like, touchdown, right. and he was like, that's it. I'm going with the call on the field.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that leads us to the Tom Cruise. Oh no, the would you rather.
Okay.
Would you rather statement / question of the week. Would you rather have division leaders? Would you rather have an AFC winner of the Super Bowl or an NFC winner of the Super Bowl? And you have to disqualify your 49ers.
If my team doesn't do it, I'm going to be doing Skull, Vikings, NFC.
Oh, you'd rather see the Vikings win.
Yeah.
So if we go, Philly, Vikings, Tampa Bay, Seattle, all those division winners, you'd like to see Vikings win a Super Bowl. I'm trying to think who I would like to see.
They take that back. I would also like to see. I would love the Bills to win a Super Bowl. I mean, it's such a deserving franchise.
That's true. That's true. We got the Bills fell out of the division lead.
But speaking of deserving franchises, I mean, the first team to lose 4 Super Bowls total in the Super Bowl era is the Minnesota Vikings.
Oh yeah, that's true. I forgot. I thought you were going to make your way around to another Bills point, but you're right. The Vikings are it. Like, we've been dancing around the Bills getting that 0-4 monkey off their back for maybe 5 years now since Josh Allen was good. And every once in a while a Fitzpatrick playoff berth, but like we've been dancing around that.
Mocking the Vikings.
How great would that be though? Like, say the Bills get into the Super Bowl, and in that whole 2 weeks leading up to the Super Bowl, we've got Bruce Smith shaking hands with everybody, Jim Kelly's wearing the old jersey, Thurman. We had Herschel Walker run for office. Can we get Thurman Thomas to run for something?
Yeah, I like it. I love it. Darryl Talley.
What about, back to my hot take, What about former NFL players need to run for some form of office in the city they played for, like as a community service?
I like it. I like it.
Yeah, like Barry Sanders could run for governor or something of the state of Michigan.
Yeah, I like it.
All right. Okay, moving on. The Ethan Hunt You've Never Seen Me Upset Award to the Tom Cruise movie that most represents this week in the NFL. I have 2 nominees this week. I have number 1 is the movie Collateral, because this week all our greatest games had worthy opponents going head to head, blow for blow. Like, you didn't know who was going to win. Like Collateral, you almost didn't even know who the good guy is. That was Minnesota Buffalo. You're like, just let it be a tie. So I go Collateral for my number 1 pick. But then I also thought Top Gun would be a good pick, because this Sunday was just nonstop action. Like, we never could catch our breath this Sunday. It was like, oh, wait. Dallas, Green Bay in overtime? All right, let's watch it. So Collateral and Top Gun, my 2 picks.
I want to go with Jerry Maguire, Show Me the Money.
Oh, that's a good pick.
Okay. Kirk Cousins, Show Me the Money. Show Me the Money. 8-1. Show me the money.
Who are the characters in Jerry Maguire in this football analogy? Is Kirk Cousins Jerry Maguire? Is he Rod Tidwell?
Now the way he's probably acting on the flight back, in these dances.
Oh, he's Tidwell.
Rod Tidwell. Yeah, he's Rod Tidwell.
Yeah. Who's Bob Sugar? Mark Davis?
Yeah, probably.
That's right. Who would be Jerry Maguire today? Probably, I don't know. Who would get the Jerry Maguire award today? That's a tough one. I don't even know how Jerry Maguire fits into actual football playing. You have to give him like a coach or one of the organizations.
For sure.
Maybe, who would be Cush? Mark Sanchez.
There you go.
He would be my Cush in the Jerry Maguire analogy. And last category for week 10. Who won the week? I have 4 nominees. Okay. I have the Minnesota flight home.
Oh, for sure.
I bet that was a great flight home. Jeff Saturday, Germany, or how about this for a dark horse who won the week? Rob Gronkowski. He's not playing, doesn't have to go to Germany, no controversy. He's still doing commercials. Seems like he's having the best time of his life. He's not even playing.
I'm going to say it was a Jeff Saturday win. You shut up a lot of people coming out being that loud, getting all upset in your first press conference. He definitely won the week.
Hey, what about this for going back to hot take? Jeff Saturday, Monday morning, retires from coaching and gives it to the assistant coach, who was maybe already the deservingly candidate for the coaching job. So Jeff Saturday comes in, wins 1 game, retires 1-0, gives the job to the assistant coach.
That'd be nice. Hot take. Let's do hot take.
Hot take. He can go out a hero. Like all the Bill Cowers can be like, he did the honorable thing. I hammered him for taking the job, and he was honorable. Jeff Saturday. Think about retiring, Jeff Saturday.
Okay, let's do that.
All right, that was the awards for Week 10. That was the week in the NFL. However, as you know, there is 1 more game left to be played in Week 10. That is the Washington Redskins. Sorry, the Washington Commodores. Sorry.
Commanders.
The Washington Commanders versus the Philadelphia Eagles. The 8-0 Philadelphia Eagles. That means Monday Night Football leads us to the Monday Night questions for you, Omar Carmona. Are you ready?
Let's go.
Question number 1. Does Philly go 9-0?
Yes.
Who is your favorite 1972 17-0 Dolphin?
Larry Zonka.
Who is your least favorite 1972 17-0 Dolphin?
Mercury Morris.
Dan Snyder sells the team in 2 years. Do they change their name again?
No.
Oh. What's the earliest one should put up Christmas decorations?
I'm ready now. I want to do it now.
Halloween? Right, day after Halloween?
Right after Halloween. I'm okay with that.
Last question. What is your favorite Rocky movie? Philadelphia's own.
Rocky 1.
The first one?
The first one.
Wow. Lastly, pick the game.
Eagles big. 27-10.
Eagles going 9-0. That was the Monday Night Questions. Carmona, you nailed it.
Got it.
Well, we covered it all. That was big picture in the NFL. Germany happened today. Carmona is happy that the Niners are on the up and up. Jimmy G, even though he only throws 7 yards at a time, he's completing them.
Yep.
And lastly, I went to a funeral. The Raiders are dead.
It's over.
That was week 10 in the NFL. The season is just starting. Now it becomes fun almost. Carmona, thank you. Week 10. See you next week.
Good night, buddy.
Okay, that is it. That is the show. That is the Sunday Night Talk for week 10 in the NFL. Action-packed week 10 in the NFL. Minnesota surprises. San Francisco holds serve. A whole lot of other exciting games. Overtime. Is the pack back? Is Dak in trouble? Isn't he in trouble waters? I don't know. Omar seems to think so. And how about the funeral for my Raiders? Derek Carr is crying. What are we to do with ourselves? What am I to do with myself? Luckily, I have you. And you can subscribe to the channel. Yes. See what I did there? Please give the channel a subscribe. It helps. And you will see all the shows on here. You'll love it. Not to mention shows. If you want to see me doing live stand-up comedy, November 19th at the Hollywood Improv, November 21st at the Hollywood Improv. I will be there performing stand-up comedy, so come on out. See me there. So, it's Sunday night. We've got Monday tomorrow, but we saw some action today. Great week in the NFL. Did your team win? If they did, you feel great. Did your team lose? If they lost, then you probably feel horrible. A lot of season left. I'm not saying they're going to turn it around, but I think we can still have fun. Let's go with that. We can still have fun. That's the Sunday Night Talk, everybody. Thanks for listening. Thank you, Omar Carmona. For me, Patrick Ramirez. I will see you next week in the NFL. Bye for now.